So when someone speaks up to you, raises a safety concern, it can feel like a personal attack. In my first study, the one above, we looked at and asked people to share stories around when they were spoken up to. And really, really surprising, right? The majority of stories were senior staff speaking up to more junior staff. Now, the traditional definition of speaking up is speaking up, raising a concern up the hierarchy chain. But this study showed categorically that more junior staff feel like those messages also come down the chain. And what was interesting was if you were to ask a senior staff member, it was highly likely they wouldn't define that conversation as speaking up. It would be just giving feedback or giving direction. So straight off the bat, there's this misalignment and misunderstanding of the conversations both parties, the sender and receiver, are engaged in. And so a lot of speaking up training doesn't ask you to state your communication goal and state the conversation that you want to engage in. Now, these junior clinicians, when spoken up to by seniors, described feelings of self-doubt, fear, loss of confidence, feeling their voice wasn't valued because they weren't just hearing a message, they were hearing a threat to their identity as a capable clinician. So sometimes when we raise a safety concern, it isn't heard by the receiver as a safety concern. It's heard as a message about you don't know what you're doing, you're not competent, you're getting it wrong. When identity gets threatened, communication can get harder because patient safety conversations, these speaking up conversations, are often challenging. And in that moment, they're emotional conversations. And we don't teach people how to manage emotions, usually at all, but manage emotions in the moment during a conversation. That's where a lot of communication training, particularly within healthcare, falls down. So we need to teach people not only how to receive messages that are not threats to their identity, how do they manage that dynamic in the moment in order to more effectively engage in a conversation? And how does the person speaking up ensure that the person receiving is on the same page and understands the conversation they're trying to be engaged in?